All right, guys, welcome into today's video. We're here to talk about metamaterials and MMTLP. So first, let's go and take a look at the price action for today. You can see we were down 3.28%. We did gain 0.56% after hours, ending at about 91 cents here after hours. Get here and take a look at the volume here. Average volume is about 6 million. We traded about 4.2 million. The markets today were a little crazy. A lot of stuff was down. You'll see where a lot of the stocks went down today. A lot of even the risk-off stocks like Bed Bath & Beyond, GME, Shopify, things like that. Just a real quick note, one of the stocks we do cover on the channel here and there, Genius Brands, reported fantastic earnings. The stock was up 20% on the pump of the earnings, how fantastic are. I'm going to do a separate video on Genius Brands. And it was up 20%. Ended the day down like 13%. You gotta be kidding me, man. That's like a 33% swing on fantastic earnings. So we'll get in that in a later video. But anyway, here, still got the 1 year price target at $3. Let's go take a look here at MMTLP. Finished down 4.46% at $1.50. Man, I'm telling you, these prices are just looking too good. I may have to go in and snag up a few more 100 shares here at $1.50. They're just tempting me with these prices. Average volume is about 314,000 shares, and we traded about 155,000. So pretty light there on the volume. Now, let's take a look at the futures for tomorrow. Actually, as I just refreshed that, it's actually looking a little worse. S&P futures are down 4 points. The Dow futures down 16 points, and the NASDAQ futures are down 23 points, and the Russell is actually up 1 point. So that's kind of interesting that the Russell small caps are up, but the other ones are down. So guess we'll take that for what it is. All right, so first thing I wanted to do here was on Metamaterial News, posted on the 15th. That's right, Mr. George, and George we trust. He bought more shares, so that's nice to know. We must be possibly out of the blackout period because George said, he would be buying when he's able to, and here George acquired more shares, so here you go. Insider George, CEO, acquires 42,000 shares at 96 cents for $40,320, and I pulled that up here on my Fintel to confirm that. Here it is. He actually did this on the 11th, 8/11, George reported 42,000 shares, reported price 96 cents. And there you can see 40,320 shares. Days to max is 1. And he got him at like 98 cents there, 96 cents. So there we go. George is buying. So guys, if the CEO, as you know here, when you see these insider buys, that's very bullish for a company. So I did go in and snag me up some few more too. I mean, why not? He's buying, I gotta buy. I mean, we gotta buy if they're buying, man. This is the time to buy. I mean, under $1, can you just believe this? I mean, it's just so hard to believe. All right, and the next thing I wanted to cover here is we got some news today. That's right. George here got this post out, so we want to cover this. Oh, let me get this adjusted right. So George here says, I am extremely happy to welcome Jack as MMAT new chair. Looking forward to implementing ideas and drawing from his vast semiconductor board and entrepreneurial experience. Thank you to our ex-chair, Ram, for all his support and wishing him all the best. Here you can see Metamaterials appoints semiconductor veteran Jack Harding as chair of the board of directors. So Mr. Jack, welcome to the board. Welcome to the MetaFam, and we're excited to have you on board. There is a fantastic post out here from StockCube, and we got to give props to him for this. So he has this post out here that has where that Jack Harding. Here are some of the NASDAQ listed companies that Jack Harding was very involved in. So we're going to take a look here. This company here, NASDAQ QRVO. He was the former director at Micro Devices. He helped engineering the merger with Triquint Semiconductor and Curvo. So there you can see. This is a post that did retweet to my page, so if you want to make sure you go read this from word to word, you can. Here you can see Mr. Harding was the CEO and co-founder at eSilicon Corporation. He was acquired by Envy Corporation prior to co-founding eSilicon. He was the president and CEO of Candace Design Systems. NASDAQ, CDNS. Mr. Harding entered Candace upon acquisition of Cooper and Cheyenne Technology, where he served as the president and CEO. He was responsible for leading the company to an IPO. Here you can see as well, he was on the board of Advanced Micro Device, AMD. The company began its transformation into an industry leader. So there you go. He was even a part of AMD, guys. That is pretty amazing that I can see why they wanted to point him on the board. This gentleman definitely seems like he has qualifications and has a nice resume behind him of what he has. So that's very great acquisition there. We got appointing him to the board. So I'm going to say great job to George for getting Mr. Jack on the board. So I'm excited about that one. So we'll see what we got at this time. It's going to take time, guys, for this to work its magic and let this all come together. Trust me. All right. Next thing here, oil price. So oil has been coming down. We got to note that oil has been coming down. But on the flip side, our Permian assets, oil and gas assets, it's not just oil assets. We have natural gas assets as well. And as oil's been coming down, the natural gas has been rising like crazy. So here you can see WTI crude's at $87.90. Brent crude at $93.60. And the natural gas, guys, is at $9.23. And if you go here and just type in natural gas prices, you're going to see top stories here on the Google search. CNN says U.S. natural gas prices spiked to a 14-year high. Here you can see Yahoo Finance, U.S. natural gas prices hover around a 14-year high. Here it says on Market Insider, Gazprom says European natural gas prices could gain another 60% on top of where it's at right now. That is crazy. And here you can see natural gas intelligence. Lackluster production and robust resilient demand, $13 natural gas. So there's not enough production for the natural gas, and that's what's causing it to go. There is a couple key points on some of these articles of why the natural gas is going crazy. So we had the oil spiking for a while, and gas was kind of just hanging around. And now you got natural gas going crazy, and oil is just kind of hanging around. So it's kind of flipped. But either one kind of high is good for our potential, spin-off / special dividend. All right, and I wanted to go over here and take a look at the Fintel numbers. So we can see here, days to cover setting at 7.65 days. Short squeeze score 67.70. Now, we've had a lot of shares return today. We were down to 500,000 shares. We ended the day at 3.1 million shares. So another day again, we start out low. People short it down, and then they return them all at the end of the day because they don't want to hold that short overnight in case something crazy happens. Because this market has shown a little bit of risk-on potential, as you saw with especially Bed Bath & Beyond, man. That thing was going crazy. It did cool down a little bit today, but will it keep cooling down or will it keep going up? So that's what they're maybe afraid of. These highly shorted, low market cap stocks, they have potentials of squeezing. And their shorts out there don't want to be caught in the squeeze, so they return these back. I think that's what it is. Short bar fees at 11.65%. And you can see here in the FINRA, they shorted us 45.69% today. And aggregate short volume ratio is almost basically 49%. And we're roughly about 9.37% of the short interest to float right now. So, guys, I think that is about all I got for you. Let me refresh these futures and see how they're looking. Wow, NASDAQ futures jumped down to 29 points right now. So the markets are tanking pretty hard right now. The Russell's still barely green by a slither at 0.6%. So not even 1 point, about half a point green. So we will see. Tomorrow's looking like it's going to be a red day, but that can always change in the morning. So we'll see what happens. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, all I ask in return is a smash thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And I'll catch you all next video, guys. Peace.